ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः. Most revered Gautamananda Ji Maharaj and dear devotees, on this auspicious occasion, I have been asked to speak on Swami Ramakrishnananda Ji's contribution to spiritual life. A very interesting subject. In fact, every act of his life is a great contribution, a great lesson to learn how to convert every action, every moment of our life into a spiritual practice. Because every moment of his life was centered around Sri Ramakrishna. Nothing was secular to him, everything was spiritual. Sri Ramakrishna had given different messages to all his disciples. Each was a unique, and each message, it contributes to the development of the spiritual life. Every disciple of Sri Ramakrishna belonged to a class of his own. Every disciple had some role to play in the grand symphony of Sri Ramakrishna's music. What was the message, the teaching which Swami Ramakrishnananda had received from his master? It was mainly about the ideal of worship, how the real way of worshipping that Swami Ramakrishnananda demonstrated throughout his life. If we devotees want to learn how to worship Sri Ramakrishna, we have to observe the life of Swami Ramakrishnananda. And this indeed formed the dominating note of Swami Ramakrishnananda's life. Now, first of all, we should know what is worship and what is the nature of worship. In Bhagavata, we find the great devotee Prahalada gives a fine description of bhakti. According to him, bhakti has 9 characters. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnoho, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. That is, Shravana, listening to the stories of the Lord, Kirtana, singing his glories, Smarana, constant remembrance of the all-pervading Lord, Padasevanam, serving him in his devotees, Archanam, ritualistic worship, Vandanam, constantly remembering and saluting the Lord, Dasyam, doing all work for his sake, Sakhyam, friendship with the Lord, and Atmanivedanam, complete self-surrender to the Lord. If we study the life of Swami Ramakrishnananda, we find all these 9 qualities fully manifested in him. We can easily say that his life was a commentary to this definition. Now, if we study carefully the life of Swami Ramakrishnan, we will find all these characteristics developed to perfection in his life. So, we get an ideal in Swami Ramakrishnanji's life of this definition of bhakti. In the olden days, I mean the Vedic period, yajna or sacrifice was a prime part of worship or a prime part of spiritual life. Fire used to burn not only in the Gurukulas, in every Gurukula there used to be constantly a fire burning that we used to call it a yajna. And not only in Gurukulas, but in the householders' lives also, in their houses too, the fire used to be called as Garhapatnya Agni. So it was a part of the worship, and they always used to keep it burning in their house. Why? Fire was considered to be the carrier of the offerings made to the god. Whatever they wanted to offer to the god, they will put it into the fire, and the fire god takes them to the particular deities. So fire had a prominent place. And later on, they believed that God accepts the food offered by devotees without the medium of fire. That is, directly if you keep a photo of the Lord or an image of the Lord and keep food as an offering and pray to the Lord, God will directly accept that. So slowly the fire worship became less and less. This came into the vogue in temples. Different gods and goddesses started appearing in the temples. So we started worshipping gods and goddesses, keeping their images. Swami Ramakrishnanji gave a new orientation to the concept of worship, learned from his master Sri Ramakrishna. That is, Sri Ramakrishna taught service to Jiva is the worship of Shiva. Sri Ramakrishna came one step forward and he said, no, it is not even necessary to worship the gods and goddesses and offer the food for him. If you can, find the God in every Jiva. Jive Shiva Seva he calls. That is a higher worship, he called this, and we find in Swami Ramakrishnanji's life both these two types of worship, that is, worship of God in the shrine and worship of poor in the public. So, this gained the title sacrifice. Sacrifice, it took the place of worship. Now, Shashimala's life, we find this type of sacrifice in different stages, in different forms. The sacrifice did not confine only for the offering the food to the poor people. It also took the form of knowledge, vidyadana, jnanadana. All these things found place in Swami Ramakrishnanji's life, and also not only it found place, it got a true picture, a true reality, how Lord can be worshipped through different forms. Now to him, another important thing which we find, which our scriptures also lay a lot of stress, but we give little attention. Guru plays a great role in the life of a spiritual aspirant. Number of our stotras, shlokas, Vedas, they give so much prominence to Guru. But unfortunately, slowly we devotees have not risen to that state at all. Now in the Swami Ramakrishna Guru and God were one and the same. Sri Ramakrishna was not only Guru, but he was also God to Swami Ramakrishna Maharaj. In the last days of Sri Ramakrishna, Swami Ramakrishna's service to his Guru was unparalleled. He did not care for even mukti. While many served Sri Ramakrishna for the fulfillment of their desire, that is mukti, but Shashi Maharaj's service had no such notion at all. Not even the desire to attain mukti. It was service for service sake. You can find in Swami Ramakrishna's life. It continued even after the master's passing away. Sri Ramakrishna was never gave up his body for Swami Ramakrishnanandaji. Swami Ramakrishnanandaji made him manifest in his relics, in the photo, Sri Ramakrishna's presence. So, one sees him serving his master in his photo and also at the same time serving his Guru Bhais in Baranagar Math. The worship of Sri Ramakrishna in the shrine and serving his Guru Bhais who are all deeply engaged in meditation in the form of begging, cooking the food, offering it to Sri Ramakrishna, and that prasad was taken to everyone's mouth. They were all unconcerned about the food, but Ramakrishnanandaji's mother's heart used to feed them literally, and that was not a help, that was not a service. It was for Swami Ramakrishnanandaji as good as feeding Sri Ramakrishna. Shashi used to go for the marketing when all were meditating and cooking and feeding. Often he had to drag the brothers from their meditation seats to feed them. All these acts of service were to Shashi Maharaj what Prahlada calls as Padasevanam. Padasevanam means serving the devotees. That way itself was a worship for Swami Ramakrishnanandaji. The next date comes Dasyam. Swami Vivekananda, after his return from America, for many years Swami Ramakrishnanandaji was engaged in the worship of the master in Baranagar Monastery and in Alambazar Monastery. Swami Vivekananda asked him to go to Madras to take up preaching. Outwardly it appears to be a drastic change, but unknown place, unknown people, and unknown language, and above all, to give up his regular lifestyle of ritualistic worship of his master and a quiet service of his brother disciples. But he started immediately with no second thought or no second word. He obeyed Swami Vivekananda and without least resistance he went to Chennai. What was his possession while going? A photo of his beloved master, a copy of the Bhagavad Gita, and one or two cloths with him to wear. At Madras, a new type of work awaited for Swami Ramakrishnanandaji, that of worship, preaching, teaching, establishing monastery not only in Chennai, later in Bangalore and other places also. But for Shashi Maharaj, no work was new or no work was strange. It was all worshipping his own master. It was all the work of his master. It was dasyam for him. It was bhakti, a new type of contribution. Bhakti. In fact, he talked, he worked, he walked, etc., and slept all in the name of his master. He worshipped the master throughout, through his every act. While in the temple it was a direct worship, but the moment he comes out, he always used to feel his master Sri Ramakrishna is also coming out with him. Sri Ramakrishna is doing everything for him. He is only an instrument. So such was the type of worship for him. In fact, he talked, worked, etc., and also slept, all in the name of his master. He ceaselessly worshipped his master through his every action. He was going a long distance for preaching, and in shine and rain. Sometimes where he has to conduct class, there used to be none, but he would reverentially go there, and in front of his master's photo, he will sit there and deliver the lecture which he has to deliver. He was not bothered whether any people were there or not. When a devotee asks him, "Sir, to whom are you preaching? The whole hall is empty." Then his answer was, "Why? I am talking to my master. My master is listening, and I do only for his sake, not for the public." That was the attitude. And also in Chennai Madras Mutt, he introduced the celebration of Sri Ramakrishna, and on that day, besides elaborate ritualist worship of Sri Ramakrishna, there should be a public meeting, one of the major parts of the program. And the teaching of Sri Ramakrishna, even if one man hears, Swami Ramakrishna would be very happy. So a large gathering used to be there on that particular day, and Swami Ramakrishna used to become elevated. And another important program of that Sri Ramakrishna's birthday was feeding. As many as 7,000 poor were fed, and he used to feed himself reverentially as an act of worship. He was feeling through every devotee, Sri Ramakrishna is taking that food. Sri Ramakrishna himself is accepting his own prasada. This used to give Shashi Maharaj a great joy, and he would personally supervise this feeding. This again was to him service of God in poor, Jive Shiva Seva. So it is not a imposing, it is not imagination, but Swami Ramakrishna could see the God in everyone's heart. And Swami Ramakrishna's life was very, very hard, no doubt. He gave every drop of his blood for the service of the people of Madras, caring in the least the extreme inconveniences he suffered. Those who have seen that, they only could believe that, and they were all wonderstruck by the way Swami Ramakrishna was conducting every act as a worship. And sometimes when he used to return to the monastery from a long distance after lecturing there used to be nothing to eat. He would not bother. Just he will go and purchase a piece of bread, and he would live on that. And on some days there was no food at all. That was not a great botheration for him at all. And whom to complain? If at all he had to complain, it was only to his master. He will go and stand in front of Sri Ramakrishna Just as a child opens up its heart to the mother, Swami Ramakrishna used to stand in front of the master and say, and one day he becomes so much perturbed. He goes, nothing is there. And he was not bothered, there was nothing for him to eat. But his great worry was, today Sri Ramakrishna also has to fast. He has to go without food. Then he becomes very angry. Ramakrishna was a reality to him. He says, "Oh Gurudeva, today there is nothing to eat either to you or to me. It does not matter. You brought me and you have kept me in this condition. It is for your pleasure. All right, I will go to the seashore, bring a handful of sand and offer it to you. Not only that, I will eat the same thing." Just imagine, Sri Ramakrishna was a reality to him when he was addressing Sri Ramakrishna. And he comes down with the same feeling. But to his surprise, there was a man waiting with lot of food materials to be offered, because there was something good has happened in his life. So he wanted to show the gratitude to Sri Ramakrishna. Then Swami Ramakrishna, seeing that, he cries in front of Ramakrishna, "Oh Master, I did not believe you. What a poor faith I have in you. You won't allow me to go on fasting, nor you will have to fast." And then immediately he cooks food, hot things he offers to Sri Ramakrishna. And another important characteristic of worship was Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vandanam and Smaranam. These are all Prahlada's definition of bhakti. Swami Ramakrishna was not a good singer, but he was punctual in conducting evening arati and singing arati hymns. In spite of his bulky frame, overcome by divine fervor, he would dance, and when he used to dance, it was a sight for the gods to see. Those who had even would reminisce that it overflowed with love and devotion for his master. Apart from this, today in every ashrama we sing the Khandana Bhavabandhana, the Arati. It was composed by Swami Vivekananda, but Swami Ramakrishna was the instrument for that. How? In the Alambazar monastery and also Nilambar Mukherjee's house, every day they used to be in the evening Arati, and at that time this Khandana was not there. They were singing Jaya Shiva Omkara, Hara Shiva Omkara, which is sung usually in the Kashi while doing Arati in the evenings. So they all used to sing that, all the dear disciples who were there at that time, and including Swamiji. And Swami Ramakrishna would sing that and do all the Arati. And then when it comes to Chambaram, his devotion reaches to such a height, he, unaware of himself, he goes on waving, singing it for a very long time. It may be sometimes 10 minutes, sometimes 15 minutes, some days half an hour, some days even 1 hour. He becomes very emotional and say that Jaya Shiva Omkara, Hara Shiva Omkara. All the other disciples, brother disciples, they felt it was too much. There is no fixed time. So they all silently went to Swami Vivekananda and they tell to Swamiji, this is becoming too much. Now we should have a fixed time for this. 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, any time. Then Swamiji just laughs and says, all right, go and tell Shashi to curtail his too much of this Jaya Shiva Omkara. Then they say, no Swamiji, when we see his fervor, we don't dare to tell him anything. Then Swamiji also laughs, yeah, that's why I am also keeping quiet. Then he said, all right, I will find a way out. And then one day he calls Shashi Maharaj. He says, Shashi, I have composed a song for Sri Ramakrishna, which I think we all can sing while performing the Arati. Hearing that a song for Sri Ramakrishna, the Swami Ramakrishnaji became so much this one enthusiastic, and his tears from his eyes, tears of joy flew on his. Yes, Swamiji, please give. At that time, Swamiji has composed the first two lines of Khandana Bhava Bandhana, and then afterwards Namo Namo Prabhu. The whole thing will take about 3 to 4 minutes. He gave it to him. You read this, learn this, and sing. Then the next day itself, Swami Ramakrishnanji, while waving the Arati, Khandana Bhavabandhana, then he went to come to Chamara, Namo Namo Prabhu, Akimanatita. But whole thing got just in 5 minutes. So all the other brother monk disciples also became very happy. It was going on nicely. But after 8 or 10 days, Swami Ramakrishnanji went to Swamiji and he said, Maharaj, I am not at all satisfied. It just gets over in 5 minutes. I want to do Chamara for a long time. I want to fan Sri Ramakrishna by that. Swamiji laughs and then he composes the other lines. The whole Arati full, totally about for 20 minutes. Then Swami Ramakrishna, seeing that, becomes very happy. And from that day onwards, then wherever Ramakrishna's Vesper service is there, this Khandana comes into the existence and Khandana is sung. So this the worship, the mode of worship of Swami Ramakrishnaji was an eye-opening to everyone. And all his actions, then he took up the very important two works which he did, and especially the Karnataka people will be ever grateful to Swami Ramakrishnanji for bringing Sri Sharada Devi to Bangalore. And in that Bangalore, on a hillock, in a small hill, there which is called as a rock today, Holy Mother's Rock, there one day Holy Mother goes there and sits there, and Swami Ramakrishna is not finding her in the ashram. He inquires, where is Mother? Somebody says she is on that hill. Then hearing, oh, Mother has become Vindhyavasini today. Mother has become Vindhyavasini. With his bulky body, with great difficulty, he climbs and then goes, and he fell flat at the feet of Sri Sharada Devi, at the feet of Holy Mother, and then sings this with folded hands, Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Sadhike. And Sri Sharada Devi keeps her hands on his head and blesses him. And that place has become so holy today. From all over the India, and of course from even from the other parts of the world, people come and visit that rock and become blessed. So this is the great contribution, because Swami Ramakrishnaji could start the center in Bangalore and take Holy Mother there. This happened. And also he brought several other disciples, Swami Brahmanandaji, Swami Abhedanandji, and all others. And he took them all the south, and he took Sri Sharada Devi even to the Rameshwaram. So Swami Ramakrishnaji, he became a great apostle to the south, and his every act itself is a spiritual life. If we can imbibe at least even one quality of Swami Ramakrishnaji, our life will become blessed. Thank you very much. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.